Hey guys, Garrett197 again. This time the review of the online limited 1/44 scale high-grade Universal Century Gym Type C and Ball Type C from the Gundam 0083 OVA series. And in the first part, we'll have a look at the gym. So this guy is an exact remold of the ground type. The only thing they changed was the colors in order to make it the space type. So the light sand brown has now become a mint green, the very dark blue has become red, the red stayed red, and the visor has also changed color. I didn't really catch it at first until I really compared them side to side, and this is more of a neon green, while this is more of a forest green. So I guess this isn't going to be as easy to replicate with just paint, because the visor isn't clear, and I imagine painting this to make it match that might be a bit tricky, though I think it could be done with some effort. And the gray is still the same gray. So overall, almost nothing has changed in that. And in fact, it is such a remold, they couldn't even be bothered to change the stickers. So we can still have our space type gym be part of Torrington Base, or another Australian unit. Yeah, I mean, they could have at least gone through the effort of giving us some different insignias, like the Immortal 4th theme, which was included on the Master Grade, if I'm not mistaken. So they could have at least given us a different sticker sheet and give us stickers for teams that we also got with the Master Grade. I mean, it's still the exact same thing. We could even have him play paintball. So the other stickers we're getting are the usual standard Federation symbols, a bunch of different numbers, which is always great, different Earth Federation symbols, and also one V for the crotch, which has been applied. So even in the recoloring, they were quite lazy. Then moving on with the articulation, head goes bit up, bit down, rotates around all the way, and has the usual chicken movement backwards and forwards. And the arms rotate around all the way, go up about that far. They're on a hinge, so it will go forwards about that far, backwards a bit as well, rotate around all the way, and bend at the elbow at 2 joints, which is really great. Then the hands are on ball joints, wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. And the waist rotates around all the way, isn't hindered by any of the skirt armor at all. Front skirts molded together but can be separated as always. Legs go forward very nicely, backwards a bit, and still, because of the forward movement, you can technically pull off a split. Go out about that far, really nice as well. Then knees are double jointed, not quite as good as the arms, but still plenty good enough. The feet go forward, and they are quite articulated because we have one hinge at the top and then a flip-flop joint here. So they go forward very nicely if you use all the joints, backwards a bit, side to side, and will also rotate around. And then the ankle guard, of course, goes up and down as well. So even though I guess we could say it's a disappointment as a recolor, especially with the stickers, the articulation is really good. Moving on to accessories, and depending on how you look at it, some of it might be a bit disappointing, but overall it is pretty good. So for starters, we get 2 weapons. We get the bazooka and we get the rifle, the Bullpup Machine Gun. So unfortunately, we don't get any special weapons for this. Once again, it's just the exact same stuff we got as with the ground type. So you can put the bazooka on there. The hands still tend to fall apart when holding on to the bazooka. That is something you got to keep in mind. These hands aren't that great, and also, unlike the newer style hands, they do not have any pegs to hold in the weapons. Also, movable handle on the bazooka. So you can get to hold it over the shoulder, or you can put it underneath the shoulder. And since the hand came loose, let's immediately show off the Bullpup Machine Gun. And this is, of course, gonna fit a lot better. By that I mean it's not gonna come loose as easy as the bazooka. And you know, in order to warrant this as a online limited edition, it would have been really cool if they'd given us an extra weapon like the long rifle, or maybe even a beam spray gun, because that is something they used in the Igloo series. But as of now, yeah, just the standard weapons, so that is a bit of a bummer. Something we're also not getting is a left holding hand for the beam saber. I mean, he can pretend he's gonna grab it, and that's cool, but that's all this hand is gonna be good for. Also, a very interesting extra joint. So this hand is really good for holding on to the weapons. This hand does... there that goes again. So this hand is really great for action poses supporting the bazooka, holding on to the Bullpup Machine Gun. But the problem is just that we don't really get any other useful left hands. Then another right hand that we're getting is one for holding on to the beam saber. And now this probably would have been a good idea for the left hand, you know, hold either the Bullpup Machine Gun in your right hand or the bazooka in the right hand, and then hold the beam saber in the left hand, because that is the hand that goes on to grab it. But no, this is the only one we're getting. And when I know it's even better, we don't even get any beams. Once again, this is the exact same thing that happened with the C-Type, but if this is going to be an online limited edition, maybe give us some beams, you know, to kind of spice things up, make you want to get this instead of just going for the master grade. So yeah, can't even hold on to it all that well. Once again, same story as with the normal one. And don't worry, you can put a beam in there. If I can find it again, there we go. So let's put this back in there and round up the accessories that we're getting. Of course, you can't have a gym without a shield. It's typical design, just slides in here or slides onto the back, holds pretty well, and goes onto either arm. You can, of course, put this upside down in order to put it there just the same way. So, works pretty well. Standard shield. There we go. Nothing too wrong about it. And will, of course, rotate around. And then the other stuff we're getting are a few extra hands. Unfortunately, these do not come with hand covers that are the correct color. These are just plain gray, whereas these are the same color as the body. So even if you're going to use these, you're going to have to paint them. Once again, for an online limited edition, maybe put in a bit extra effort to make us want to buy this and spend the extra money getting them, spend the extra effort trying to get on them. So yeah, that is that. And then one final real accessory we're getting is this. In order to put him on an action base, simply remove this hatch here, ram this up his ass, then you can attach him to an action base number 1. So let's pull that out again. There we go. And we still get a few more things, but they are junk parts, unfortunately. We get 2 of these shoulder parts, but they are unusable. And while we can't do the inevitable question just yet, this guy isn't really selling this limited edition, in the sense that if you take this kit and you throw some paint on it, this is going to be the exact result. Even down to the stickers, nothing's been changed, no weapons have been added, no extra covers have been given for these hands, nothing. So as an online limited edition model kit, I would say this is pretty sober, to put it like that. Now, is it a good model kit? Absolutely. I really like the gym, really nice articulation, looks good. Fortunately, the feet could have been a bit more Katoki-esque, but overall accessories are nice considering they come from this guy. This one might have been better with a few more beam weapons. As I've said, it's a limited model kit. Give us something extra to make us really want to buy it. So far, this isn't selling the set. Now what is going to sell the set is of course going to be this guy here. So in conclusion, yes, it's still a good model, but it's definitely not going to be worth getting it for this guy, considering the markup you're going to have to pay. Keeping into mind that this one here is around, the Master Grade. You can just go ahead and pick up the Master Grade, and you know, if you take into account the markup you're going to pay, you might as well go with the Master Grade, unless you can find this guy for relatively cheap. In that case, yes, but with the markup, absolutely not. So let's do some size comparisons. Here he's next to another standard size mobile suit, the Gym Custom. As you can see, it's actually slightly smaller than the Gym Custom in head height. Then put him next to another very similar gym, the Power Gym. Of course, we need some more gym comparisons, so here he is next to the original one. And their size would be about the same because, well, the neck on mine is a bit longer. So if the neck would be on normal, on the way it normally was, it would be about the same size. And then also next to the Gym 2. Once again, the Gym Kai is a bit on the smaller side. And finally, let's put him next to the gigantic Zaku 3 and the Gym Sniper 2, to which he is about the same. Well, that's all for part 1 of this limited edition set, and see you in part 2 for the ball.